What's going on, YouTube? Metal Complex here, and today I have a very interesting knife review slash knife overview to do with you guys. This is the Steel Will Shaula. I'm not really sure exactly how to pronounce it. I'll give you a look at the name there. Very compelling knife from Steel Will Knives. We actually have not taken a look at a Steel Will knife for a little bit, so this is pretty cool. This knife was sent to me by the Pass-Around Group, which means by extension it was sent to me by the manufacturer. As always, I'll do my best to not let that affect my review, but it should be pretty easy considering I don't get to keep the knife. Before we get started here, did you guys know that I'm on Instagram? I'm on Instagram. You can follow me at metal_complex. If you're new to my channel, I like to do knife reviews, knife overviews, unboxings, discussion topics. I have Quest for the Perfect Budget Knife on Saturdays and the Knife Guy on Sundays. I also do lots of giveaways, and I upload pretty much every single day. If that sounds good to you, go ahead and subscribe and make sure your notifications are set to all because there's definitely more content coming. Anyways, let's go ahead and get a measurement of this guy. From tip to scale, 8 inches, almost on the dot. From tip to the front side of the scale, I guess, blade length, 3.5 inches, almost exactly on the dot, possibly a little bit longer depending on where you measure it, 3.6 at max. The actual cutting edge, again, right at 3.5 inches. This is going to be a very preferable size, at least for me, and I think for a lot of people. Really nice. How about some size comparisons up against the Ontario Rat Model 1, a knife that is definitely in the same sort of arena. Rat 1 coming in at 8.6 inches overall. A little bit longer, a little bit more robust in terms of height. How about the PM2? Up against the Spyderco PM2. PM2 coming in at 8.3 inches overall, so just a little bit longer and a little bit more robust in appearance. How about up against the Ontario Rat Model 1? Rat 1 coming in the exact same length at about, or I'm sorry, did I say Rat 1? The Benchmade Griptilian or the Ritter Hogue. I'm not sure exactly what I said there, but anyways, Ritter Hogue coming in at 8 inches overall. So the exact same length, very good size comparison. The Steel Will Shaula being a little bit more sleek, a little bit more slender. And last but not least, how about up against the Spyderco Para 3? Spyderco Para 3 coming in at 7.25 inches overall. How about a look at the action? Because that is important on this knife. We have very nearly a drop shut action. Rest assured, the knife is centered. Very good flipping action, no double clutch, and nearly fall shut. This is very smooth, very easy to deploy, whether you like to do a light switch or you like to do more of a push button. It's very comfortable. This feels very natural. They did an excellent job tuning the detents. The bearings are smooth. Everything is just great. Love the action. That's very impressive considering this is a Chinese-made knife in the budget arena. Let's do a measurement of the blade stock thickness with my handy-dandy super elite calipers. Blade stock thickness coming in at about 120, 125 thousandths. That appears to be accurate. How about the weight? What are we running here on scales and frame? Scales are, in this case, a beautiful red G10 with a frag pattern. They also come in blue and black, with a couple of those color variations being offered in a tumbled finished blade. I believe blue and black G10 scales are offered with a tumbled blade, and then they have these red G10 scales, which to my knowledge is only offered with a black blade, and then they have an all black version. Really cool. Can I say this? I said this in the unboxing, I think. Thank you for doing, Steel Will, thank you for doing some colors that are not the typical, OD green, tan, and black. That's annoying. It's cool to see some different colors. Thank you, I appreciate that. Overall weight of this guy, an impressive 3.56 ounces. I love that. The same weight you get for people who are like, I like my ounces, an ounce an inch, and whatever. That's great. These are steel liners that come out to the lip. We've talked about this on my Quest for the Perfect Budget Knife series. Why is that important? I think it helps keep the cost down. It allows us to get knives of this caliber and this action and this quality without them being super costly. And also, it should make it really easy if this knife, in my opinion, it should inevitably become really popular. I think it's been out for at least a month now. If the aftermarket wants to make cool, crazy scales for this, it should be pretty easy because the scales don't have to have special milling on the inside to fit a cartridge liner. No, the liner's just a flat liner and the scale's just flat on the underside, and it's not a complicated shape. There's some really, really nice chamfering that almost gives the impression of contouring on this. It's just nice. It's really nice. See how much they've milled out the liners on the inside? God dang, they just nailed it. God dang, good job, steel wheel. I love that. Functional, sorry, we're getting down to the handles there, but that's just to explain how they ended up with the weight and just to, give them a big thumbs up on how they did the scales, which we're going to come back to. Functional, minimal jimping on the top, that's awesome. Nice chamfering on the blade, probably the tumbling that's allowing that to be knocked down, and just about the most utilitarian blade shape that you could imagine. Very simple, kind of drop point, clip point style blade kind of mixed together. Flat that carries out about 70%. Nice swedge, giving it a nice aesthetic appearance, giving you a nice tip that's not super thin, but not super thick. Nice puncture, puncture friendly tip, I guess, a tip that's going to be good at puncture tasks. Nice belly, not super tall, not super short. It's going to drop down to a pretty darn good edge. Feels pretty thin, not razor thin, but, thin enough where you're going to be able to do some nice slicing tasks with it being 125,000 stock thick. This is just a great all-around working blade. Absolutely fantastic. I really like how good the black tumbling looks on the blade. It just looks nice. Everything's nice and uniform. I don't mind Steel Wheel's logo right here. I kind of wish it was up here, but that's fine that it's down here. And on the back it says Shaula F61D2. Kind of wish it was up here. Not that big of a deal. And at the same time, I wish it was a little bit smaller. But again, it's like I said, not that big of a deal. Fit and finish, fitment on the liners up against the scales, everything's great. The pivot has this, it's like a big sort of spiral effect pivot. That's fine. Nice T8 size. One of the only flaws on this entire knife is that it again uses the industry standard T6 screws. Barf. Let's get those changed to T8. You guys are like, we know, Complex, you say it on every single video. Well, I want people to start echoing it. I hate those, and they've been around for so long. It's not that big of a deal. It's not a deal breaker. It's just me complaining. Awesome texturing on this G10. It's functional. It's gonna grip your hand. It works well with the curvature of the handle. It works well in unison. I mean, this is a knife that's gonna fit really well in it's kind of aggressive looking in this color scheme, but it's a simple design that'll work well for EDC or outdoor style tasks. It does run on bearings, so just keep in mind the bearings can get gunked up if you're working in a really dirty environment or with sawdust or mud or dirt or, little micro debris of any type. That's fine though. Really great, no issues there. I love the chamfering around the outside. This is kind of what they do with the Shaman to get, because the Shaman, it says contoured, but it's not completely contoured. It's just heavy chamfering around the outside. The top of it is actually flat. It's the same thing that's going on here. You have this sort of, shallow chamfering that starts way back in a more of the middle, not really the middle, just closer to the middle of the knife, and then there's a nice sort of casual drop towards the edge, and it makes everything feel rounded. It makes everything feel more comfortable in the hand, and I really like that. I do not like knives that insist on the blockiness of, these are fine, they just feel blocky compared to this. This is nice. I'd like to see a lot of knives do things like that. 2 standoffs in the back, and then what's this weird little one back here? Well, it allows you to put a lanyard on there without the lanyard running the risk of running into the blade, and at the same time not having a hole that changes where you're allowed to put the pocket clip on the knife. Fantastic. Perfect. That solves that problem. Spyderco had an issue with that. Where do we put the hole? Well, let's just move the pocket clip way down and make every single person who buys a pair of 3 have to buy a different pocket clip. Nope, here's how you do it. Just you can put this, it kind of looks weird. You can run some 550 through there, and then there you go. Pocket clip, perfect. Deep carry, has some room for your finger to get in there and catch that loop. It's got a nice drop, a little bill, easy to get over the pants pocket. The G10's not aggressive enough to tear up your pants super fast. It will probably over time, but not that big of a deal. Screws are recessed into the pocket clip, so you don't have to fight the screws. It's actually deep carry. It means the entire knife can be hidden by the pocket clip. So perfect. Perfect. Right or left-handed tip up carry, as it should be. Right-handed only for the liner lock. Speaking of the liner lock, this is what I always talk about. A little bit of a cutout here that allows the liner to stick up further than the outside of this part of the liner. You'll always have the ability to engage it properly from the right side, no matter how far it wears over. Speaking of liner lock engagement, it's locking up at a perfectly acceptable 50% and comes absolutely dead centered with no blade play, up, down, left, or right. Holy crap. Holy crap. This thing is awesome. This is a great knife. We're 10 minutes in, and the only thing, seriously, the only thing that I can really say is, gosh darn it, it has those stupid T6 screws. And I wish that that was smaller and moved up. But man, other than that, oh my gosh, this is just great. Nice and fidgety, no double clutch. I mean, I can play with this thing all day, and it's super utilitarian. I mean, they really had the end user in mind. Guys, I mean, I'm going to go ahead and say it. At a price point of $50, I think this is one of my favorite budget knives that I've ever handled. I mean, I think I could easily put it into my top 5 right now. I think the fact that they offer some cool colors of G10, they have a pattern that looks nice, that goes with the flow of the knife, a handle that's obviously made for the human hand. I mean, God, look at that. The palm swell and this, I mean, it's just perfect. I can get my whole hand around it. It's got the fidget factor. It's got the good blade shape. It's got the good pocket clip. It's got the liner setup that I like. The aftermarket can make some cool scales for this. You know, not that I don't know that that'll actually happen. I hope this thing doesn't fly under the radar because it's kind of got a basic look. But guys, this is awesome. This knife is seriously like an A+. You know, I'm going to use this. I'm going to try to use this knife as an example. I'm in my, not the, well, no, wait. These are all pre-recorded. So the very next episode of the Quest for the Perfect Budget Knife, I'm going to try to use this knife as some sort of example before I send it on. But if I don't physically have it, rest assured I will be using it as an example. This thing has everything you could want, from, you know, the durability without making it too heavy, to the open body construction making it easy to clean out. You know, thoughtful design for where to put a lanyard, thoughtful design for the pocket clip, thoughtful design for the action. By the way, look how shouldered off that area is for the stop pin. You see that? Super deep engagement with the stop pin, meaning that thing wraps all the way around that deal. Lots of surface contact, should actually help the lock bar slow its wear. Every part of this knife, except for the T6 screws, they were thinking about the user. I love this knife. I love it so much. Can I recommend it? Yes. If you absolutely hate how this knife looks, that's fine. You don't have to, you know, feel like obligated to buy it. But for everybody else who's like, yeah, that's a good looking knife. Is it made well? Yes. If you're okay with spending $50, I think this knife is well worth the money in D2 steel. And oh my gosh, it makes me want to buy one for myself. This is absolutely a recommendable knife. Of course, as usual, I have an Amazon affiliate link. If you want to buy, you know, if you want to use my link, more importantly, this is a super recommendable knife. Oh my gosh. Not only is it my favorite knife that's come out of Steel Will, and Steel Will's been hit or miss for me. They've got a lot of designs that are like, yeah, you know, like, it's good. Like the, what have I got up here? Steel Will Tenet. That was my favorite knife from Steel Will until I found this guy. If you like the Tenet, I think you'll like this one. I think these are the two very best knives that Steel Will makes in their budget category, but I think this one's a little bit better. I love the Shaula. I hope I'm pronouncing it correctly. I just think this is awesome. The last few minutes of this review are just me gushing about this, but oh my gosh, I hope this thing doesn't fly under the radar. It's such a simple design, but it's just so well executed. Ugh, this thing is awesome. Guys, that's really all that I can say. I don't know that there's anything else that I can really point out about this knife that's, you know, that hasn't been said. So pick yourself one up. Hopefully there's a color scheme that you like. I'll try and list all of them. I don't know. If I remember correctly, I looked before I did this video. I don't know if I have listed the red one or not, but if you want the red one, I'm sure you can find it out there. In any case, find you a color scheme that you like, pick this up. It's sure to be one of your favorites in the budget category for a long time to come. Anyways, guys, if you enjoyed this video, please leave a like. If you'd like to check out my other content, I do, of course, have lots of videos of knives that are either expensive or inexpensive that I don't like, so check those out. And if you enjoy all my content, go ahead and click on this Metal Complex logo right here and subscribe to my channel because there's definitely more coming. Thanks again for watching, everybody, and have a great day.